Hello and welcome to the Whoniverse and to a brand new video. Now Doctor Who has featured many references to the ancient society of Time Lords. These moments and mentions of the Doctor's long lost people can show the character at their best or worst. The Doctor is a truly complex character and the people he associated with all those millennia ago even more so. Many of the ones we've seen have been renegades leaving Gallifrey in a pursuit for good, bad or a bit of both. Now a renegade Time Lord that doesn't get much love is the Corsair, a character created by writer Neil Gaiman and developed as part of the official 13th Doctor Titan Comics series. A Time Lord who travels time and space in a pirate ship style TARDIS with a selection of animals, getting into sword fights, stealing artefacts and much more. This is the history of the Corsair. Like all Time Lords, the Corsair was taken from her family at the age of 8 for the selection process in the dry lands of Gallifrey. Staring into the untempered schism, a tear in the fabric of reality where the time vortex was visible in all its raw power. This process was part of a Time Lord initiation, where some would be inspired, others would run away, and some would go mad. The Corsair reacted by running away from what was seen in the schism. At least one of the Corsair's incarnations was female. The 4th Doctor once said to Romana II that he should meet up the Corsair sometime, referring to the Corsair as both a man and a woman, when he did so. According to the 11th Doctor, the Corsair was a woman a couple of times, saying she was a bad girl each time, and with every incarnation having a brilliant smile that made you want to trust them. Now the history of any Time Lord is often an absolute mess, shrouded in mystery, so let's take a look at the random details from the other adventures before we get into the two we know more about. Firstly, we know that the 3rd Corsair had a multicoloured Ouroboros tattoo on their back, the largest version of that tattoo. Every incarnation of the Corsair had this tattoo in a different size and a place each time, the symbol consisting of a serpent eating its own tail in an endless loop, symbolising eternity. The 4th Corsair was male who got drunk with the Doctor, while the 5th Corsair was female and also got drunk with the Doctor. The two Time Lords drinking often wrapped up with the pair, stuck in the Bank of England's vaults. The 5th Corsair had the smallest Ouroboros tattoo, which was the size of a 10-pence piece on her upper thigh. The 7th incarnation of the Corsair encountered the Daleks on Clarkor 9, with a Dalek scout ship containing 9 Daleks leaving the world alone after their weapons and suction arms were mysteriously removed and fused together in a rude shape in Scarro's language. At some point during the time of Barosa's reign on Gallifrey, the Corsair was formally censured by Time Lords after they had been linked to the theft of the portrait of Rassilon. This was later overturned by Lady President Flavia. The 8th incarnation of the Corsair also got drunk with the Doctor on one occasion, with the final incarnation of the Time Lord being the character's 9th, a large muscular man with a tattoo on his inner left arm. Right then, onto the real adventures. So sometime during what could be the Corsair's 5th or 6th incarnation, the Corsair was a dark-haired woman who wore pirate clothing and was proficient at sword fighting. Her Ouroboros tattoo was located on her left wrist. She stole the gem of Niag from the Deviants to return it to the people of Plun, on the behalf of a third party who put it out on a want ad for her services. She intentionally allowed the organ scan to detect her as an alien at the request of her employer. The 13th Doctor was arrested in her place with her similar binary vascular system. The Corsair went to a pub on another planet with her TARDIS when she was found by the 13th Doctor and her companions Graham, Yaz and Ryan. After recognising the Doctor from her destroying the kill gun of an alien holding another at gunpoint and fighting for a pub brawl with a sword, the Corsair explained her actions to the Doctor over tea, complimenting the Doctor's more heroic behaviour as something she was aspiring to. She then confessed that she needed the Doctor's help with a heist of sorts. After taking time to think it over, the Doctor agreed. In the Sky City of the planet Raplina, the Corsair and the TARDIS team worked together to open a door with multiple fatal security measures. Inside the vault, the lost treasure, the item of such value, was a star whale, one of the last of its kind, with years later, the last one helping humanity to fly to a new home on Starship UK. This whale was very young and much smaller than the one under the Starship UK. The gang set up a stellar stasis net to transport the creature, however Ryan, Yaz and Graham got captured by the Raplinans. With this, the Corsair takes the star whale and the Doctor to her employer, the Hoarder, an alien who collects anything and everything, attempting to add the star whale and the 2 Time Lords to his huge collection. The pair escaped their prison before rescuing the Doctor's companions from theirs. The Doctor then contacted the Time Agency, who stopped the Hoarder at the youngest point they had ever found him, leaving the Doctor and the Corsair to free the baby star whale, who is part of the protected species of the universe. The Corsair and the Doctor parted ways, complementing legacy as the Corsair takes the star whale to a new home. Centuries earlier in the Doctor's life, but in the far future for the Corsair, the final incarnation of the Corsair was described by Auntie, the strange composite humanoid servant of House, as a strapping big bloke. She was a good authority on the matter. After all, she had the Corsair's left arm stitched onto her torso in place of her own, while the other composite humanoid slave, Uncle, received the spine and the kidneys. The Corsair went the way of House's numerous other Time Lord victims who had fallen into House's bubble universe and was marooned when his TARDIS was drained of energy. The Corsair had only just enough time to get a message together before he was finally killed. The 11th Doctor discovered the Corsair's fate after being contacted by a hypercube with their peculiar Ouroboros symbol and following its psychically encoded distress message to House. He eventually discovered the Corsair's remains in Auntie and Uncle. This and the stockpile of hypercubes House used as bait cemented his fury in confronting and defeating House with Idris, the manifestation of his own TARDIS consciousness. The Doctor reminded House of his plan, to trap the Matrix in a mortal body where it would die off safely away from the console room. However, this plan failed, and the Matrix had been released back into the console room upon entering the console. The Matrix quickly overrides House and the entity screams in pain and it is consumed. The Corsair and all those countless Time Lords murdered by an evil entity avenged and any more deaths prevented. The Doctor saved the Corsair one last time, and this time didn't need any alcohol to make it happen. So this is usually the bit where I wrap up the video, but this character has one more surprise up its pirate sleeve. According to Neil Gaiman, Russell T Davies saw the image of the Corsair's arm with a pirate, and liked the idea that the shopkeeper from the Sarah Jane Adventures episode Lost in Time was actually the Time Lord known as the Corsair. Although no in-scene references have been made to this, personally I think it's a brilliant idea with the characterisation of the shopkeeper matching up to the Corsair quite nicely in their later incarnations. So that is now the history of the Corsair. I genuinely think it's such a great character with loads of potential, and hopefully we'll get to see the swashbuckling thief on screen properly at some point. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, comment below with your thoughts, and let me know which character you want me to do a history of next. Oh, and I've noticed recently only 10% of people watching these videos have subscribed. If you want to see more of my videos, just hit that big friendly subscribe button. It'll take you 2 seconds and cost you nothing. And in return you get loads of videos to watch. My logo appears in your little sub box, and it puts a smile on my face. If you don't want to subscribe right now, that's fine, but I'd love to hear how I could improve in the comments below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.